Hello guys, welcome to JavaJSM, and in this video we can see how to set the priority in thread and how to get the priority from the thread also, and what is the priority of the main thread, what is the default priority of the thread. Each and everything we can discuss regarding the priority in the thread, and it's a very important topics. So many times interviewer will ask you the priority related things in thread class, so it's very easy. I'm going to explain you, so please be careful and understand how we can set the priority and get the priority from the thread. Okay, so we have a method already in the thread class, like thread dot get priority or set priority. So you can write set priority. Okay, so these are the methods are already available. Same thing you can use for the get also, only you have to change get to the set. Okay, so these two methods are already available in the thread class. Okay, next is what is the range to set the priority. So range will exist from the 1 to 10. Okay, if you give apart from 1 to 10 the priority, when you are setting the priority, if you give here 1, that is the low priority. If you give here 10, that is the maximum priority. Okay, so low means like minimum priority, so 1 is means minimum priority we have given. Okay, and 10 means maximum priority of the thread. Okay, so we can say 10 is a max. Okay, if you give here apart from this, not 1 and not 10, if you give in between, so it will depend on the percentage, like 5 you have given, so 50-50, you can say 6 you have given, so like that it will make. But what about if you give the below and above the range of this priority, like not in between 1 to 10, maybe you given something like 12. So what will happen? So if you set the priority with the something like 12, so that is not exist in the lower limit or upper limit, so what will happen? We can get the illegal state of the exception, so this will not accept actually. Okay, let's start with the coding and try to understand whatever we have discussed. Okay, so I'm going to create one more class called thread demo. Okay, thread demo. So this is the class I have created. Inside the class blindly I'm going to create one main methods. Okay, and in the main method simply what I'm going to do is I am going to write here thread. Okay, whatever the thread we have, thread dot get thread dot whatever the methods are available, can you please check once. So current thread name. Okay, so current thread dot get name. Okay, so I want to know like what is the current thread name. Okay, give the semicolon and you can just print it. Okay, let me print this name into the one s out so that you can see. So as of now we have not created our own thread, we are using the internally thread whatever the JVM will provide for the main thread. The name is called main thread. So let me run, so you can see like what is the thread name it's given. So if you run it, you can see here this is the main thread. Now I want to know what is the default priority for this main thread. So I can write thread dot current thread I will say, and then I will say like get priority. Okay, so through the get priority I can get what is the priority of this main thread. Okay, and here we can store it and now we can print it. Okay, priority. Okay, so we understood. Okay, what is the priority of the main thread by default. Okay, let me run once. So you can see by default the main thread priority is 5. So many times interviewer will ask you, can you please tell me what is the by default thread will run our class. So you can say main thread. If he tell like what is the priority of the main thread, so you can say default priority is 5. Let me change the priority of this main thread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write thread dot current thread I will take, and then I will write set priority. Okay, so we have a method called set priority, and through that method let me first give 12. Okay, let me first give 12 and store this value. So this will not return anything. Okay, that's we are setting the value, and again let me write what is the priority of the current thread. Okay, check the priority of the current thread. So again I have written here, so priority of next. So next thread priority, after setting the value we need to check. So what exactly I have done is, this is the things with we have know like what is the thread name, which is default thread name. Through that we have set we have checked the what is the default priority, and now we have set the priority the priority, so which is 12. So we have set the priority which is 12 and previous priority is 5. Okay, now if you run, so we know as of now like this is the priority is not like exist. We can give the priority range between 1 to including 1 to 10 only. 1 is lowest priority and 10 is maximum priority. In between value only you can give, but we have given 12. So because of the 12, maybe we get some exception. So let me see what is the exception. So default main, and we are getting the exception called java.lang illegal argument exception. Okay, so we are getting the exception called illegal argument exception. So let me write here illegal argument exception. Okay, so if you give something like that, then it will give illegal argument exception. So let me change it. Okay, let me change it and comment this line also. Okay, and go to the next line and just set the value, which is now I want to set something like 8. Okay, so now your main thread priority will become 8. Let me run once. Okay, so you can see here the priority will become 8. Okay, so this is the main thread and this is the first priority is 5 by default, but we have changed the priority which is 8, and same code we have written again and we have tested, so it's printing the priority is 8. Okay, so this is the things. Next what I'm going to do is I will create 3 threads, okay, which is our own threads. So let me create 3 threads. With the help of the thread class, now I will extend thread class, and I will create user threads. So here I will write thread demo, thread demo, and thread demo t1 equal to new thread demo. So I have created one object. Let me copy. So Control Alt arrow down you can put. So it will created 3 times. We can give the name called 1, and this name we can give is 3. So this is the 3 thread we have created. As of now we have not provided any name for that. We can provide also, that is fine. But now I want to check what is the default priority for this thread. Okay, so I want to check the default priority of this thread. So what I will do is thread 1 I want to check the priority. So what I will do is I will write here s out. Okay, in the s out only I will write t1 dot get priority. Okay, get priority, and you just assume like what is the priority for that. Let's guess it. So default priority is 5. Why? Because our main thread default priority is 5. So because of that, whatever thread you have created, those are the child thread. Okay, we have a main thread, and inside the main thread we have created 3 thread. So these 3 threads are nothing but it's a child thread of main thread. Let me write here those 3 threads is a child of main thread. Okay, understood? So because of that, okay, so always always child having priority, always child having priority of parent thread. So whenever you create any thread, okay, so the by default always child having a priority of the parent thread only. Okay, let me do one thing here. What I will do is I will change the priority of our main thread. So how can I change it? I will write here thread dot current thread dot set priority. Okay, and I will set the priority is the max priority. So we have some constant also in the thread class, like max priority, mean priority, and normal priority. So max priority is nothing but 10, mean priority is 5, and normal priority is 1. Okay, so let me take the max priority. We have set it, and now if I run this same code, the all thread also having a thread which is the max priority, okay, based on the parent class. Okay, let me run. So this thread also having a 10 priority. Let me write this code for the 3 times. So Control Alt and I will press it, and here I will print T2 and T3. So all having a same priority. Let me check. Okay, so all having a same priority. Now I don't want to see the default priority which is having a parent, so we can do and we can change the priority of our on thread also. Let's change the priority of user defined thread. So this is the thread we have, and now I want to set the priority of our thread is a different, not related to the main thread. I don't want to by default. And those thread I will set the how can I set it? Like we can write t1 dot set priority. Okay, and here I will pass 3. So this is the 3 priority. Control Alt down arrow. Okay, and T2 I will set the priority called 6, and this one I will set the priority called 8. Okay, and now again I will copy these things and I will print the priority, and now we can check what is the priority of our thread. Okay, let me format it. Okay, so now if you print, you can see the default priority of our thread is 10 because we have set the priority for the current thread is 10. Now we have printed the thread priority is 8. Okay, where it's printed 8 because we have written somewhere thread dot get priority. Okay, having a something priority. So this is the 3 thread, so it will set it with the maximum thread. Then this 3 thread will be executed. Then again we have changed the thread. Okay, so let me give this 7. Okay, and this is the all same thread we have set the priority. So let me change it T2 and T3. Okay, and let's see what are the priority we have set, it's reflecting or not. So if you runs again, you can see okay, the default thread priority is 10 10 10, and then we can see our other thread we have set it 3 6 7, so it's set it. Okay, so like that you can set the priority of the thread and we can get the priority of the thread. And also if you want to print the name of the thread with the priority, you can print it. So print thread name with thread priority. Okay, simply. So what we need to do is, we have to copy these things, okay, in the same line of the code. And otherwise you can do one thing, you can write here s out. Okay, and you can write thread name. So we can give the thread name t1 dot get name. Okay, and plus we can give some space, and then after we can give t1 dot get priority. Okay, so through the name and we can see the priority also. And let me copy this 3 times. So Control Alt arrow down, and here we can change 2, here we can change 3, here we can change 2, this one is 3. Be careful, if you do any mistake you can't find out what is the output we are doing. So like that we can test each and everything and we can write a thread. So this is the thread, means 0 1 2, and those are the priority of those thread. So as of now we understood how to set the name, how to use sleep, how to get the thread name, how to set the priority. Each and everything we have discussed regarding the thread. Okay, in the next video or maybe upcoming video we can do some of the logical questions based on that. But before going to do anything, let me start. Okay, so here if you see in the multi-threading only, okay, what is the difference between thread class and runnable interface? So that is also very important part. Okay, you have to understand what is the, as of now whatever we have discussed, what is the difference between thread class and runnable interface. Okay, so if you extend the thread class, means if you extend the thread class and you created the thread class our class cannot extend any other classes, that is right. Okay, so because of that does not support the multiple inheritance. So our Java in the object-oriented programming, we are not supporting the multiple inheritance with the help of the classes. So if you go and extend the thread class, then you can't able to extend any other classes. Okay, so this is the things we have to think about it, and then only you can go with the thread class. But if you implement the runnable interface, our class can still able to extend the base classes. So if you go with the runnable interface, you can able to extend some other classes and interface also. Okay, so that is possible. Okay, and now the second point is, the first point is very important. In the so many interview they will ask like that, like what is the exact difference between the thread and runnable interface. So that time you have to give the point number 1 only. This will only satisfy your answer, otherwise you can not give the proper answer. So this is the only answer. If you give first point, then only you selected in the interview. So only tell, if you go with the thread, we don't have a options to extend some other classes, but if you go with the runnable interface, we have a option in the future to extend some other classes. Okay, so that is the one very important reason you can give, like what are the differences between them. We can achieve basic functionality of the thread by extending the thread class. We can achieve basic functionality of the thread by extending the thread class, because it's provided some inbuilt method like yield, interrupt, etc. that are not available in the runnable interface. Okay, right? Using the runnable, you will give you an object that can be shared amongst multiple threads. Using the runnable will give you an object that can be shareable amongst multiple threads. So run method is very important, and runnable is also very important, because through the runnables only you can share your object into the amongst all the object. Okay, because this is the interface, and he is the parent of all those thread class. Okay, if you are extending with the thread also and not thread also, so this is the parent of each and every thread class. So for example, if you created one thread class by using the thread class, you have created one thread demo class extending the thread class, but this thread class parent is also a runnable interface only. So if you open this, you can see runnable is a parent of the thread class. If you go to the runnables, runnable does not having any parents. Okay, so I hope you understood how much importance are in the loose coupling if you use the runnable. Okay, I hope you guys understand, okay, how to set the priority and get the priority from the what, those things. Okay, and these are the differences between the thread class and runnable interface, so please remember it. Okay, what is the special purpose of thread? What is the special purpose? So a special purpose of the threads is like in Java having a main threads, timer threads, AWT event dispatch threads, and swing event dispatch threads. So there are different types of the threads are the exist in the our Java. What is the main thread? The main threads is the first thread that is created when Java program started running. So whatever the once you start our program, that time only the main will execute it, so that is called a main thread. So this thread is responsible for executing the main thread, a main method you can say, and creating the other threads as necessary. So main method will only enable to create all other threads, okay, whatever requires. What is the timer thread? So the timer thread is a system thread that is used to schedule task to be executed at the specific time or after a certain delay. So if you want to schedule some of the task, so you can go with the timer thread. AWT event dispatch thread. So AWT it's outdated, so we are not learning right now, but let's discuss it. So AWT event dispatch thread is a system thread that is responsible for handling event related to the user interface component in the abstract Windows toolkit AWT library. Swing also outdated from the market, so swing event dispatch thread. The swing event dispatch thread is a system thread that is responsible for handling the event related to the user interface components in the swing library. So that is also important, but not right now because it's outdated from the market. Okay, so only right now we are doing the work on the main thread, timer thread, and whatever the user thread is possible we can create and we can do work with them. Okay, and next we can discuss about what is the advantage of multi-threading in Java. So that is also a very important topics. Okay, so what is the basically advantage of multi-threading in Java? So improve the performance. Okay, so whenever you are going with the multi-threading, a multi-thread if you create, so you can increase the performance of our application by allowing the multiple threads to run concurrently. Multi-threading can improve the overall performance. We can enhance the responsiveness your whatever the code you have written, it will look like a very responsiveness. Once you click, you can see the output. Each and everything will be very fast, it will do the work. Simplified coding. While writing a threading, it simplify the coding also, and maybe it's make some complex and maybe people will not understand, but it's very nice. Okay, so you can see here multi-threading can simplify the coding process for certain type of the application, as it can allow multiple tasks to be executed simultaneously without having the create separate processor. Okay, so this is the what is the disadvantage of multi-threading in Java. So if I talk about the multi-threading in Java, so it's increase the complexity. So whenever you see the multi-threading code, you can't understand where it's coming, where its call is happen. So that is little bit difficult. But once you grab those knowledge, once you understand, you feel like okay, it's easy. But for the beginners, it's look like a complex and how it's running. For example, I'm calling a main method, a start method. It's indirectly calling a run method. So you will not understand like, hey, I didn't call the run method, but it's calling a run method. How? So you have to understand some internal logic, then we can do it. Okay. Resource contention means if the multiple thread access shared resources concurrently, it can lead the resource contention and conflict that result will be performance degradations of order the corruption. So sometimes what will happen is like one resources are tried to access multiple threads, so that times we face some issue, but we have to implement our project whenever you see like that difficulty in the thread safe, so that we can't face this problem. Okay, so this is the one issue also. Debugging difficult. So as of I have told you, like debugging is very difficult in the multi-threading, because there are multiple threads are running. When output will generated, you can't understand. Okay, when our flow is going, you can't understand. So this is some difficulty you face while doing work with the multi-threading. But if you have some external knowledge, like internal knowledge about the some of the threading concept in the depth, once you have started working on that, then you feel like okay, it's fine. Okay, so easily you can grab the knowledge on that, so it will become easy, but it's difficult for the beginners, we can say. What is the multi-threading and what is the multitasking? So multi-threading means Java refers to the ability of a programs to have a multiple threads. Multiple thread means just before I have created multiple thread. Okay, execution running concurrently within a single process. So single process means whatever the system we have in the same process or same JVM, we are running the multiple thread that is possible concurrently. Okay, that is called a multi-threading. Multitasking means multitasking in Java refers to the ability of a program to perform multiple tasks simultaneously, allowing a different parts of the programs to execute concurrently. Multitasking can be achieved in Java using a multi-threading. Okay, so multitasking we can achieve using the multi-threading only, which allow the multiple threads to run concurrently within a single process. So I hope you understood. Okay, this is the multi-threading and multitasking differences. You can go and you can just check out it and try to understand. Pause the video and just learn it. Okay, so if I tell you like this is the user interface, responsiveness, network communication, data processing, game processing, server programming, in that we are using the multi-threading and multitasking. Without multi-threading and multitasking, we can't achieve this particular problem solution. Okay, difference between the multi-threading and multitasking. So these are the some differences you can see. Multi-threading and multitasking are related to the concept that are often used interchangeably, but the different meaning in the context of the Java. Multitasking refers to the ability of operating system, and multi-threading refers the ability of the program to execute multiple. So this is the multitasking. It's depend on the operating system, and multi-threading depends on the program to execute a multiple threads of the control concurrently. Okay, so this is something like in operating system we have a different application we have installed, like music player, gaming, and some other application we have installed and we are doing work on that. Okay, so that is depend on the multitasking. And multi-threading means in the Java programs we have created multiple thread internally, and we are processing some of the particular like inserting thousands of the records in the database, reading thousands of the files and data and store in the database. So that is the things we can do with the multiple threads. Okay, so that is called a multiple threading. Okay, just go with these slides and pause the video and try to look at. Okay, some key differences between the multi-threading and multitasking in Java. like resources sharing. So we can easily share the resources and we can do the process. Coordination means like one thread can allow to other threads to coordinate their activity and synchronize their process. Okay, so that is also possible. So resource sharing means we can share our object to some other, and some other people also share the object to some other. So thread will share the whatever the resources we have. Performance, multi-threading can more efficient than the multitasking because it's avoid the overhead of the process certain and context switching between process. However, multi-threading can also introduce additional synchronization overhead and potential race conditions. Okay, so performance will very nice if you go with the multi-threading. Okay, so please try to understand what is multi-threading and how it will work. What is the advantage of multitasking in Java? So improve the resource utilization, like a CPU. So CPU is doing work for the like whatever the software you install in your Windows. Okay, so it's maintaining it. So this is the advantage. Improve the user experience. Once you click, suddenly your particular application will open. So that is very good improvements for the user experience. Quickly and easily open the multiple applications simultaneously. You can open directly Notepad, Eclipse, your editor or something VS Code. You can open your browsers at the same time. That is possible with the multitasking. So that is the advantage you can say. Better fault tolerance. So multitasking can also provide a better fault tolerance since failure in the one task or application does not necessarily affect the other task. Okay, so if one task is fail, it will not affect to other tasks. That is also very nice features in multitasking. Okay, but as a developer we are doing work in multi-threading only. As a developer we are not doing work in multitasking. If you want to do the work on multitasking, you have to go into the Microsoft and you have to do the work on the operating system, then only you can understood what is the multitasking. But for the multi-threading, you just learn Java and whatever the application you are building, just try to apply on those only. Okay, so what is the disadvantage of the multitasking? So increase the overhead, increase the complexity, security risk. So it's happened in the every application, we have to improve it. That's it only. Okay, some of the questions we have to understand in depth, like what is the difference between thread and process in Java. Apart from this, what is the difference between user thread and daemon thread? How can you create a thread in Java? What is a race condition in Java? So just go and watch what is the synchronization. So in upcoming video we can learn what are the keywords, how we are maintaining our threads, each and everything. Okay, how can we synchronize access to the shared resources in Java? What is the deadlock in Java? How can we avoid a deadlock in Java? What is the thread pull pattern in Java? What is the executor framework in Java? What is the fork join framework in Java? So those are the 10 questions I have prepared for you guys. So please go to the Googles and try to understand and learn about it. Okay, thank you so much. We can meet some other video.